Hello, so previous chapter we had a basic introduction of what is CodeIgniter all about, how it is different from the Code PHP framework. Before starting off with it, the first thing that every developer does is installation or the typical environmental setup for CodeIgniter. So we'll start with that thing, and before that I would like to mention there are certain prerequisites as I mentioned in the previous chapter. The PHP developer can understand a CodeIgniter framework very easily. So if it's for PHP, then there should be definitely some kind of a software stack included in your system. That can be WAMP for Windows applications, XAMPP, or if you are using another kind of Linux distributions or any Mac OS system, then it will differ as LAMP and MAMP. So once you have those particular systems set up, so this is how your local host will look. So localhost typically means that my server port system where I can test and look out for the applications locally first of all. And if it works perfectly from end to end, then I will host it in my server. So I'm using WAMP server over here. WAMP server has the localhost system in this format. Here I have certain PHP info which would be my PHP, which version I'm using right now. So that is 5.6.31. So I'm using for this system. And CodeIgniter supports for any kind of the PHP framework, so you don't have to worry about it. It does not have any constraint with respect to which PHP version it supports. Usually now the PHP versions greater than 5.5 is more portable to use. Then I have a PHP my admin. So PHP my admin is nothing but like it is the database kind of system where I'll configure my databases for the framework. So this is my PHP my admin. I will have a root and like a username and password. For now, I'm not getting deep into that. I just want to give an overlook of what is WAMP server all about. So after that, now let's move on to the official website of CodeIgniter. So that is codeigniter.com, which is my official website. Here you will have documentation, communities, and whatever the forums where if you have to see for any kind of doubts like what all is CodeIgniter all about, like what are the features newly added in CodeIgniter, if there is any new version added for CodeIgniter. So all these things are included in this documentation and the community sections. So this is the official website for CodeIgniter, that is codeigniter.com. So now we are going to start off with the environmental setup. So definitely we will need some kind of package. For me, my system is Windows. So I'll start with downloading a package over here. The latest version is CodeIgniter 3x, that is 3.1.6. It is mentioned over here. Others, there are legacy versions also. Suppose your PHP version does not support 3.x, like more than 3x, then you will have to look into it. So CodeIgniter 4 is also the upcoming version, but it's like in the beta version, or you can see it's not ready for the production use. So it's like pre-alpha one. So it is suggested that you should use the one which is like stable and which can develop applications quite quickly. So let's download CodeIgniter 3. You can get the source code in GitHub also. If there are certain accessibility issues, you can easily download it from here. So this is my zip file, and so it takes around 2.6 MB, so it takes quick. If your internet is on the higher priority or speed, then it will be a very plus point, so you don't have to worry about that. So it is getting downloaded. Till that we can have a look, like there are three flavors of CodeIgniter. First, the current one is like CodeIgniter 3, which is the current version. 4 is the future version, or you can say it's a beta version, and CodeIgniter 2, which is a legacy. Why it is mentioned as legacy? Because it is in the primitive side, like it is used, and like many more features have been added apart from that CodeIgniter 2 thing. Suppose if your PHP framework is not supporting for 3 versions, then it is suggested to use CodeIgniter 2. I have downloaded the zip file. Let's open it. So this is my CodeIgniter 3.1.6, which has certain folder structures. So I'm going to just copy this file, or just you can say open. I'll go to my download section. It will take a while because it is quite a big amount for a system to accept it and get it done. So this is my zip folder. I just extract it, take it to the C drive where my WAMP is suggested. Then I'll take a www folder, create a new folder, which is like my CodeIgniter project. Okay. Here I will copy that zip file and extract it. So my extraction will be in CodeIgniter project only. So I'll copy over there. It will extract all the contents, which is like all the subfolders which will it includes in it. So we'll have a look on each and every subfolder for a while. So it takes a while to extract. It's up to like 2.8 MB. So it is taking quite a while. So till that time, we'll have a look on the website structure. Like, okay, fine, we have the legacy system. This is the documentation part. So documentation includes like your documentation for 2 version, also 3.x versions. So 3.x version is the recent one. So you can take the documentation, you can download the user guide, okay, in the zip file, or you can get it in the online system also. Documentation of CodeIgniter is very well done. So because you can, if you are starting from the scratch, then it is very beneficial to have a simple functions, how it is designed, how controller it is designed, how views are designed. So it is always beneficial to refer the official documentation than to get into any other kind of system. So yeah, now I guess it has been extracted. Yes. So this is my code structure. I will also take all the folders and copy it outside. And now I will remove this both zip files. Okay, so my CodeIgniter project includes these folders if you'll have a look. So the name of the folders is application, system, and so on, whatever. So let's have a look on each and every folder for now. First comes is the application folder. So application folder, it as the name suggests, it's like it contains all the code of your application, okay, that you're building for your web application. So it has certain subfolders like cache, config, controllers, core, helpers, hooks, and so on. So let's have a look on each and every folder. First of all comes this cache. So this cache folder, this folder consists of all the cache pages, so which is basically used in your web application. These pages will increase the overall speed of accessing your pages. Okay, so this is what is cache all about. Next comes config. So as the name suggests, config means something related to the configuration of the web application. So this folder contains various files to configure the application. So with the help of config.php, so this folder, if you will have a look on this, I'll just open it in my Notepad++ to have a look. So this is something you can see there are certain parameters like base URL, index.php, and so on. So it's like it includes all the basic configurations that is required for your web application. User can configure the application, see the desired output in the browser. So using database.php, so this was about config.php. Next comes database.php. I'll just open this file. So in database.php also, if you can see there are various configurations which is required to set up your database, like what will be your host name, the username, password, and the database which it will be connected to. Now my first thing I would like to mention, CodeIgniter definitely works with MySQL. So it has certain functionalities to work with other SQL databases or even NoSQL databases also. For now, we will be working with MySQL. So that's the best example if you are starting as a beginner. So this was about the config folder and the various files included in it. So there are even routes.php, migration.php, and many more. Each and every file will be associated in the further chapters. For now, we'll just have an overview of this. Next comes the controllers. Okay, so now comes the bigger picture. Controller is like the one which is in the C character, like MVC is like model view controller. So controllers are associated over here. This includes all the set of controllers that will be included in your web application, which is the very primary part of your application. Okay, so controllers is a must. Next comes core. Okay, so core is nothing but it's a base class of your application. So it includes certain basic features which we will have an overlook in the next chapters. Next is helpers. As the name suggests, it is nothing but it helps to create your application in a beneficial way. In short, in layman terms, I can say that helpers are nothing but the one which allows you to have a set of functions used in each and every page instead of writing them from the scratch. So helpers, it's like it does not give any kind of a primitive thing. It gives like you have a set of function, you just have to take this function and implement in your page. You don't have to write it from the basic thing. So that is helpers all about. Next comes is hooks. So hooks are nothing but the file in this folder provides a means to tap into and modify the user workings of the framework without hacking it to the core files. So hooks are nothing but, like as a name suggests, it connects between the pages. If there is any kind of the gaps in it, then hooks helps to do that. After hooks comes the language folder. So CodeIgniter has various functionality to include multilingual functionalities as well. So for now it is for English. So language folder consists of various language related files. After this comes the libraries. So libraries contains of files of the libraries developed for your application. So various libraries, or even you can say certain third-party libraries if you want. So all these can be associated over here in the application folder. Next comes the logs. This folder contains a file related to the log of the system. So if you have to maintain certain logs, then these logs will be associated over here. Then comes the models. Okay, so models are like the database login will be placed in this folder. So that's an example I just want to say. Models are nothing but whatever the database logic associated to it. So that all related files with .php extension will be included in this folder. Next is the third party. This is like another set of plugins. We saw the libraries, but if there are certain plugins which is to be associated, okay. So in this folder, you can place any plugins which will be used for your application. So that is third party. Okay. Next is views. Okay. Views is like the V of MVC application. So all the HTML files, whatever the end user can look and see, that HTML files will be kept in this views folder. So this was about the folder structure. So there are certain files also. .htaccess is nothing but the server configuration file if you are uploading in your server. So .htaccess is a must. For example, if you want to just keep a website live for the particular IP address and all, so that can be done with .htaccess file. Then there is index file. Index file is nothing but for the initializing of the project. So it just initializes your project. So this was about the application project. Next is the system. System includes certain subfolders. System, this folder consists of various CodeIgniter codes and libraries and any other files also. So it includes a core, database, fonts, helpers, language, libraries. Okay. So core, this folder is like a core class. Do not modify anything here. It is suggested over here. So it's like it is corely defined, specifically defined for CodeIgniter. All of your work will take place in the application folder. If you are new to CodeIgniter, so this is a basic point you should keep in mind. Even if you are in your intent is to extend your CodeIgniter code, then you have to work with hooks which is present in the application folder. So you don't have to disturb anything here in core folder as of now. So next is the database. Database folder consists of certain database libraries, the drivers and the database utilities. So that's what database is all about. Fonts includes the font related information and the utilities. Next is the helpers. Okay, so helpers is another, like this helpers is different as compared to that of the application helpers. So these helpers consist of standard CodeIgniter helpers. Okay. And after that comes the language. Language is nothing but whatever the language related files are associated with it. And the libraries. So libraries, these libraries are the CodeIgniter libraries. So these are not the third party libraries. So this was about the system thing. And user guide is nothing but whatever you want to start, any documentation related files or anything you want to know. So that is present in your user guide. So this is a user guide to CodeIgniter basically, and it is offline version to the developer, which is provided by the CodeIgniter framework. Using this, one can learn the functions of various libraries, functionalities, helpers, and it is recommended to use this user guide if you are building your first web application in CodeIgniter. So besides these, there are 3 folders also. There are certain basic files also. So each one of them has certain contribution to it. But for now, your basic thing is that whenever I initialize my CodeIgniter application, it starts with index.php and access this application folder. So that's very important as of now.